Hi, Denise Slaughter with the Institute for Educational Leadership. And I want to go back to Richard's question about the pressure to push down, drill down even younger in our children's development and I won't say the fight, but one of the things that occurs to me, Paul Houston, the executive director of the AASA, American Association of School Administrators, gave a metaphor back in May about the fact that in 30 years of flying, he's gotten on an airplane and he always turns right. He's never tempted to turn left and sit in the cockpit. And he said one of the issues for educators, and I wonder if this is the case also here, is that you have a lot of people in the cockpit who are determining or deciding that it's one or the other, drilling, education, or development and play. How do you counter people who have more power but don't necessarily have the expertise to make that kind of judgment?
Well, one of the reasons for that drilling down that you describe has to do with what it is that is being tested for in No Child Left Behind. That's a big factor. I mean, if you're testing for literacy and numeracy in the 3rd grade and parents get the idea that that's the only thing that matters, you're going to get this pushing down, and not just, across the board in families in every school, including, the most interesting play-oriented schools. Do our kids know X, Y, and Z? One of my former students, Jill Morningstar, who some of you may know, is George Miller's staff person on this issue. And let's see what comes out on Thursday in terms of what the No Child Left Behind Act it contains. If the ways in which a school can succeed aren't limited to literacy and numeracy, but include a whole other variety of skills and abilities across the spectrum, if that becomes the norm, then you're going to get a different model of what preschool is like. But I do think this is a pendulum story. And my sense is we've gone about as far as we can go on skill and drill, skill and drill, skill and drill. You take former Governor Jim Hunt, North Carolina. I could only have wished that he'd run for president at some point or other. Just a great man and a great leader. He started with standards. That was his push, standards, and he's a very influential guy across the country. Now the focus is creativity. That's what, yes, it's important that people know how to do the basics, but creativity is the word. And when, as the line goes, when Jim Hunt speaks, other governors listen, and they are. So that's the hope, that from Congress on the one hand, and the pushback that I think is going to come over some period of time. Just as we went from no letters in the, no letters allowed in the Head Start classes in the 1960s to skill and drill, I think this is the moment for the pushback to a world that looks more balanced, that's less either or.